Good day and welcome to our podcast. My name is Aakash Patel and I'm the president and founder of Elevate Inc. We were launched in 2012 with the premise of helping companies that are relocating to the area and entrepreneurs that are starting businesses learn, connect, and grow in our community. Our podcast, Elevating Today, features community leaders and business owners that are helping our community elevate Tampa. We are also passionate about giving back to our community. And so with that in mind, I want to share an event that I was honored to moderate last month with the Indo U.S. Chamber. On November 18th, the Indo U.S. Chamber hosted an event with the Superintendent of Schools, Addison Davis, and the President of Hillsborough Community College, Dr. Ken Atwater. We discussed the education community in Hillsborough County. With the increase of remote learning, schools are constantly learning new lessons and opportunities to help them move forward. Teachers are going the extra mile to ensure students are engaged and working hard despite all the changes around them. A big thank you to the Indo U.S. Chamber of Commerce for allowing me to moderate this event, and thank you to all the teachers and faculty that are doing everything to help children earn a quality education, not only in Hillsborough County, but around the nation. You help us stay safe and help us get educated. We appreciate all that you do. If you have interest in joining us on our podcast or have questions about Elevate Inc., email us at info@elevate-inc.com. We're excited to have episode 13 of season 1, and our guest is going to be Chon Nguyen of Newgentek. Thanks so much for joining us. Good day and welcome to our podcast, Elevating Today. My name is Aakash Patel and I'm the president and founder of Elevate Inc. This is our podcast where we feature community leaders and business owners who are in the Tampa Bay community helping our city. And today my guest is Chon Nguyen. Chon, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, Chon, a lot of people have heard of you through Newgentek and your other ventures, but for those who haven't, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, I've always kind of had my own business going. I got my Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer certification in high school. After a brief stint at Circuit City, I started doing computer repair, sort of break-fix computer repair, evolved that into managed IT services through my first company, and then started Newgentek. And so, you know, what we call that business is it's sort of a hybrid MSP, managed service provider, and systems integrator. So we do workplace technology, managed IT services, and a heavy concentration on multi-unit hospitality, restaurant, retail.
Now, a lot of people are listening there, and they know you're from the Tampa Bay area, correct?
Born and raised, yep.
And
yeah.
in high school, was that when you first started your first business?
I did, yeah. I started doing some consulting for some people my dad knew, and he was in the car business, so I was just helping them out with their network and fixing things when they had challenges, and so I got my start.
So how old were you your first business?
Probably around 16 is when I started, right when I got my certification.
And back then, was there Google to learn or YouTube videos to watch, or how did you learn what to do?
No, I mean, it was before America Online. I mean, it was a dial-up internet, yeah. So it was very early. There were no graphics on the internet. It was very early.
Now, at a young age, I mean, a lot of people at your age at 16 are probably not thinking about business or making money. What was your motivation?
Well, I watched my dad and what he was doing. He was in the car business. He worked a lot, so I probably got like a little bit of, the workaholic in me probably comes from watching him, just have that strong ethic himself. So, but I think just being exposed to it early on. My parents were very supportive, so they, that certification wasn't inexpensive, and not a lot of kids were going through it. So, when I said to my parents, I want to get this certification, and they supported it, I think that just sort of put me down a path that, if you want to accomplish something or get something done, just go after it and do it. And I've just been doing that since that time. So was it instant success? No, not at all. I think with any entrepreneur, you look at it, people, would say like, it's a 20-year overnight success. I mean, it's a, you try a lot of things, you fail a lot, you fall down, you get back up, you keep doing it. So flash forward, you're 18 years old, you graduate high school, you get your diploma, and then all your friends are going off to universities, whether it be University of Florida, Florida State, UCF, USF. Where do you go? Well, a buddy that had graduated a couple years before me, right when I graduated, he called me and said, "You got to come work at Circuit City. We're making $65,000 a year selling extended warranties on computer packages, and that seems just like an easy thing to do. So I did it and did really well there for about a year and a half. But
So you just told your family you're not going to college?
I think my parents probably knew deep down that I wasn't really interested in it. I was an average student in high school. I really wasn't too focused on the high school experience. I had other things going on, and was interested in technology and business, and I hope they knew that I was going to be okay, but I've certainly got some grief from my parents about it. I think my mom was more nervous, and even today she'll still make comments about it, like do you ever regret not going? But I started working at Circuit City and learned a lot there. And at night, so I would sell people these computer packages and find out that they owned businesses or needed help setting them up. So on my days off, I'd go do that, and they didn't have an install business, so nobody really cared. But I just slowly grew the business, from there, and then I ended up leaving and doing it full time.
So you worked every day, all day?
Pretty much, yeah. It was, I would load. I had sort of through the transition period, I started running an advertisement in the world of West Chase, which is a neighborhood in Hillsborough, and
that's wow, right?
The wow, yeah. So I started writing an article and running an ad, and so when I did that, I would load my 2001 Mitsubishi Galant up with computers all day long, and run around the neighborhood picking them up, and then I'd carry them up the stairs to my apartment, work on them all night, and drop them off the next day. So, yeah, it was it was a grind for sure.
So today, there are people that say, you got to go to get a 4-year degree or maybe even a master's to get ahead in life. What do you say to people like that?
I say, my wife and I talk about it now because I have 2 kids, and so they're young, but thinking about what their future looks like. I think if you determine early on that you find your passion early and are dedicated to that you can you can make it happen. I'm not sure that I think I probably missed out on the college experience. I mean, I had friends that went, and so I got to hang out with them and and get a little bit of it, but I don't think it's necessary or required by any means, and to me, I would evaluate it as just a cost-benefit analysis, right? I mean, if you think you're going to gain a lot of experience if you sort of hit the ground running, and or you can choose to go to school and
now,
go that route.
Business owners like yourself, entrepreneurs who are avid learners, did you have any books that you self-taught yourself, or were there some mentors that kind of guided you through these processes?
Yeah, I have always been a reader. So just thinking when it was just a one-man show, there's sort of when I talk to other entrepreneurs, and certainly from my story as well, you hit this point where you're a one-man show, and then you decide you're going to scale the business. And there was a book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber that was a sort of a turning. It was like that aha moment for me. Because, you're always, when you're a solo entrepreneur, you're making sort of enough money. It's time for money, right? So you have to figure out at what point are you going to make less and invest in the business and add headcount so that you can scale the business up. And that book really did a good job of walking you down that path and how to think about it. And so that was a really important sort of turning point for me when I read that book. And certainly from a mentor perspective, I mean, I have always been I was a curious kid. I'm curious now. My friends will tease me all the time about, like, they call it shawning someone, but I'll just sort of pepper people with questions, and I'm just naturally curious, and so when I have an opportunity to sit down with someone or get in front of them, I love to understand what their journey and their path, and I try to take that away. And then now I'm in Vistage, which is a CEO coaching group, and that's been just extremely helpful for me. I wish I would have done that earlier.
Yeah, I think when I started my business at Elevate Inc., we started in 2012, and I talked to a lot of CEOs, and they said when you can afford the time and the money, you should join Vistage. And so I joined in 2013, and it's been great, like you said.
Yeah.
So now talk us through. You're at Circuit City. You're making all this money. You're young. And then do you do what normal kids do with a lot of money? Do you just go spend it, or did you keep working? Did you keep investing? What did you do with the money?
I did what kids did. That was a learning process. So you start making money and you start spending it. And of course, looking back, you would do things differently. But thankfully, it has always been sort of an upward trajectory, and so that's helped. But yeah, I think, yeah.
So Newgentek, did you start that by yourself? Did you have some partners? And how'd you come up with the name?
So I had another business that was similar to Newgentek with a partner, and we ended up going our separate ways. So I took a buyout and basically founded Newgentek shortly after that. And I was just trying to think of names. I was looking at available domain names, and then took the play on my last name, Chon Nguyen, just Newgentek, and got it trademarked recently, and so yeah, it's just a kind of a fun play on my name.
And what year was Newgentek formed?
2017, October 2017.
And when you started, did you have a strategic plan for 1, 3, 5 years right away, or was it a process that was evolving?
It was evolving, with Newgentek. So I did an SBA 7A loan to get it off the ground. What was different about Newgentek than some of the other businesses that I've started is that I knew it was going to require some upfront capital, and so I was able to contribute some of that. But my partners at Valley Bank were very helpful to get things going for me, and so we did the 7A product, and so I started off with 7 people and no revenue. So when when the loan funds and the people are there, and you sort of have to make sure that you make it. So the pressure's on, and we did a good job, and we were profitable the first year. And
that's what you always have to do in the first year of business.
Yeah. So but yeah, we just is a great team, and we kind of knew what we needed to do, right? And we had. It wasn't my first time, so we were able to get some sales methodology in place and marketing engine and put processes into place. But I mean, it's a rocket ship, and we're still, because of the velocity and how quickly the company had grown, we're still. And it's always this way, but you're sort of going back and fixing things that that you had to do just out of necessity, from a speed perspective.
So describe your ideal customer for Newgentek.
Our ideal customer is a fast-growing company that is dependent on technology, and how we describe ourselves as being different is that we just go wider and deeper. We like to take people out of the technology business. So a lot of times, our entry point will be different depending on the customer. So sometimes we'll lead with what we call workplace technology. So we'll go into a company that's moving into a new office space and put in a conference room or huddle space and get their collaboration, and workplace technology set up. And then, start to ask questions like, how are we going to connect this to Zoom? Do you use Microsoft Teams? And you'll find out that they need some help there, and we can help them. And so, slowly but surely, we continue to grow the relationship with them, and we're able to do that. So.
Now, last year, 2019, you were honored by the Tampa Bay Chamber by the Small Business of the Year Awards. Tell us what category and what that experience was like for you, and what was it like to win?
Yeah, we won the startup category in 2019, and it was incredible. I mean, that experience is, first of all, it's a lot of work. I mean, and I judged this year, so I was glad to be on the other side of the table. But you spend a lot of time, putting things to, gathering information and engaging the team and getting them involved. And you learn a lot going through the process. I mean, you're asked questions that sort of make you reflect and think about, why you do things, how you do things, and so it's a good exercise for the team. And winning is just incredible. I mean, we had the whole team there that night, and it's just like the Oscars. You're you're nervous and you have a speech prepared and hope you get to use it, but they call your name and you win, and yeah, it was really good. And then the press and getting that recognition for the year is not a bad thing.
Now, people at home that are watching this, they know that you're Chon Nguyen of Newgentek, but a lot of other people know you as the hospitality guy. So
Yeah.
talk about your other ventures you have in the community, especially when it comes to hospitality.
Yeah. So 6 years ago, I started a company called Fusion Prep with a partner, my partner Sean Berg. We grew up together, and we're just doing nerdy things. We had a BBS, which was before the internet was was popular, and then so we kept in touch kind of growing up, and went our separate ways and came back together. But so Fusion Prep is a SaaS business, and we call it a digital kitchen solution, but we put iPads in kitchens for multi-unit restaurants, and we basically run their kitchen. So we do all of their recipes, their build cards, line checks, checklists, prep sheets, food safety labeling, compliance tools, training, and we built that out as just just kind of a little side project. I was doing IT for a group of restaurants. I had 6 restaurants, and I was talking to the chef, and he said, when I need to update a recipe, I have to reprint these binders and send them out to all of the locations, and I have no way of knowing, if they're using the right version of the recipe. So consistency is a challenge, and he just said, there has to be a better way. And so we built out this really simple recipe management system, and he liked it, and I said, would you pay for it? And he said, yeah. And so we kind of had we had a business, and so now that's in right around 1,500 restaurants around the world.
Wow.
Now, and yeah, it's a great business. And
What kind of restaurant concepts? Big chains, small chains?
yeah, I mean, full service, quick serve. I mean, people around town are, we're in, all of the Chichio groups, Fresh Kitchen, PDQ, World of Beer, Metro Diner, First Watch. So a lot of stuff locally, but places all around the country and the world. So it's been a great business, and that's an example of one of those things about just being. I think it's an example of being open to opportunity. Number one, but two, it's sort of that intersection of I didn't know. I still can't cook, and that was my first time in a kitchen, and but I know technology and can solve challenges, and so when we came together and understood there to be a problem to be solved, we did it, and we're successful with it. But we've had some misses too. but that was a good hit for us. And then being involved in hospitality and hospitality technology, I joined. Ty Rodriguez and Farrell Alvarez are my partners at Proper House Restaurant Group, and we own and operate Rooster in the Till, Nebraska Mini Mart, and Gaito, which is at Sparkman Wharf, and also at the Joinery in Lakeland.
So the industry that was hit hard the most, I think, during the pandemic was hospitality.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
how do you not being around them all the time and being involved with the technology? How did you pivot? What did you guys do to adjust?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you a couple different perspectives on that. One from a vendor and as someone that supports hospitality business and loves the business. It was there was a period of time at the beginning where it was very concerning, and our chain customers have been able to to sort of navigate their navigate through here. We've been lucky that a lot of our customers are very well funded and have just solid businesses, so they were able to weather the storm. But the independent restaurants are very near and dear to my heart, obviously too, and watching the pain that they've been going through has been a challenge. I mean, you see some of the best chefs in the world that are, in this country that are having to shut down their businesses as a result of what happened is challenging. And so, yeah, there was a period of time, for I mean, we made concessions for our customers to kind of help them, through that period of time by reducing some pricing and giving them some reprieve. We and then at the restaurants that we own and operate, we went into we struck really quickly and shut everything down. We combined it into a single kitchen at a Rooster in the Till and started doing delivery and to go through there. And then as things progressed, we were able to open back up. But we've done we've had to make adjustments to the labor model, to food costs, and ultimately the business is like anything. When you go through something like that, you typically come out on the other side. If you can make it to the other side, you come out stronger usually by going through that experience. But yeah, it was a tough period, and I don't think we're through it yet completely. So.
And I know last year you were featured in by the EDC in the Make It Tampa Bay, and I was featured this year. It's a cool experience, and you talked about the innovation community and technology and how Tampa Bay could be a technology center, or maybe like an next Silicon Valley. I mean, what is it like, as you travel all over with all these companies, or when you did travel before the pandemic, and they ask you about Tampa, why are you so passionate about Tampa?
Well, I was born and raised here, so it's near and dear to my heart because of that. And I think being able to see how quickly it's transforming and what it means to the community, I think is why I'm passionate about it. I think I've always loved it. I'm glad that it's getting the recognition finally that it deserves. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. The business community and entrepreneurs, I think, are starting to recognize and appreciate technology more often. Things are starting to get funding. You're starting to see deal flow and deals close more frequently. So I think it's a great time to be here. We have no state income tax, right? It's just an attractive place to do business. So I'm glad that we're getting the recognition finally.
Now today is almost 2021. Let's just call it 2021 because 2020 we don't want to remember too much, with everything going on. But where is Newgentek 5 years from today?
I think we'll be a strong regional player, doing what we're doing and continuing to provide technology solutions to fast-growing companies. We continue to focus on doing the right things every day and identifying opportunities and customers that we can help. And I think if my philosophy is just do the right thing every day, and the results will follow.
And a lot of people want to start businesses because of what's going on in the economy and the world today. What's some things that you tell people that they must do before they start a business? I mean, is there certain requirements that you wish that the old 16-year-old Chon would have done before?
I try to not sugarcoat it because I think when we talked earlier, it's that 20-year overnight success. It is because you do it too, but it's lonely sometimes. It's you're dealing with challenges that all the time. It's the odds are against you. So I mean you have to be resilient, and that sort of gets built up over time. So I think when I talk to people, I just try to be very open and honest while not discouraging them. But I want them to understand how hard the lift is. I mean to build something from nothing is very challenging. And when I talked about the loneliness thing, when you're having to make difficult decisions that impact people, and that's why I think something like Vistage is so important, because you can have conversations with people that are going through it too, and so I try to make myself available to people that are interested in doing it, because if you can save them some of that heartache and just some of the difficulty, that's anything you can do to do that, I think is a good thing. But it's tough, as you know.
Oh, definitely. There's no easy way. But yeah. I know we're running short on time. Is there anything that we didn't come across that you want to say to the viewers?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything. I appreciate you having me.
Of course, Chon. Thanks so much, and congratulations on all of your success and your recent appointment to the EDC board. That's great. We'll put up the photos and we'll put up the information on how to get a hold of you. We appreciate your time.
Great. Thanks, Aakash. Appreciate it.
This is Aakash Patel of Elevate Inc., and you've been watching Elevate Today, our podcast. This was Season 1, Episode 13. Thanks so much for tuning in.